Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Trust Swap Launchpad interview series with Vendetta Games. My name is Brett, and today I'll be your host. Today, I'm joined by Alex McConnell, the CEO and founder of Vendetta Games. Excited to have you here, Alex. How you doing?
Good day, Brett. I'm glad to be here, and thank you.
I'm loving the Vendetta background.
Yeah, thanks. I'm sitting here in the saloon, the Vendetta saloon. All I need is my whiskey.
It's perfect. As always, community, a quick reminder, please make sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification, and like the video for more Launchpad news, Trust Swap updates, and exclusive content. We're excited to have you chat with us today on the interview series. I'm looking forward to it. So, why don't we just dive on in with some questions?
Let's do it. Let's get this rodeo started.
Excellent. If you could please start off by telling us in the community a little bit about yourself and a little bit of Vendetta Games. How are you shaking up the world of Web3 gaming?
Okay, yeah. Well, to start with, I come from Canada originally. Very small town, like 300 plus people. Town called Chalk River, hence the name of our metaverse, the Chalk River Wild West Frontier. And yeah, I came over to Asia about 20 plus years ago and started, my business life here. And that, in a slow roundabout way, kind of brought me into Web3.
Amazing. That's awesome. Can you tell us a little bit about Vendetta Games?
Yeah, so Vendetta Games is a Wild West metaverse. Kind of picture Red Dead Online for visuals, right? For that kind of feel to it. We've got open world metaverse. You've got character line, storyline chapters within that, and then you've got these seven kind of side games where we have the risk five factor. So shootout on Main Street, Canyon Run where you race your cattle, race your horses. Vent saloon, right in the saloon, you can have your parlor games where you can play poker. So yeah, there's all kinds of content in there.
Very cool. Well, I love the story about Chalk River and how that's where you came from. And when I was cruising through the website, that was kind of one of the first things I noticed, obviously. And Chalk River looks fantastic. Can you share a bit more about the game with our community? What can people expect, I guess, when they're playing?
Well, yeah, I mean, just try to put yourself in the position of expanding out in the Wild West. So it's, a lawless metaverse. The idea is to, kind of claim and conquer your piece of history, your piece of land there. So whether it's through gamified staking or, you just want to make a name for yourself as the fastest gun in the West, or you want to be the lawman who collects the most bounties, I mean, that's all there for you to do.
I feel like I'd want to be the lawman. The lawman with the fastest gun, is that allowed?
Yeah, well, everybody's gonna be shooting out to get you.
It sounds like an incredible game, and from everything I've seen, it looks great. I'd love to dive a little bit deeper on the ecosystem. From what I see and from my research, there's still a lot more in the pipeline. What other sorts of games can people expect?
Yeah, well, in the Vendetta ecosystem itself, I mean, there's a lot there, right? You have this open world metaverse with the storyline chapters based on characters, so that's almost endless, right? And most of those are single player, but then there's some, storylines where you're going to have to bring in your buddy or two or three people who are different characters to kind of pursue that. And then, as I mentioned, we have these side games, which are, I mean, you picture any Wild West movie, whether it's a shootout, capture the town, defend the town, right? All these are in there, and that's in the Vendetta metaverse on its own. And that's going to take a while to really flesh out, right? I mean, we're probably talking, a year before it's complete and cooked. And then, of course, Vendetta Games itself. There's a lot of stuff we can do under that banner, whether it be pirates or some Asian themed kind of historical Wild West type games, but in a different setting. So there's a lot going on in the pipeline.
So really, what I'm hearing is the sky's kind of the limits in terms of games that you can make and different cultures and stories that you can use to create new games.
Yeah, I mean the theme is vendetta, right? So anything kind of dark and uh, wild, that'll go. You're not going to see us doing cute cuddle pets or anything.
That's fair. That's fair. Only firing from the hips, little
Yeah,
finger guns. Well, I'm an avid gamer. I love playing games. I was actually just playing one a little bit ago. It's after my workday, everyone. Don't worry. I can't get in trouble for that. But I'm an avid gamer. There's a lot of games out there. I'm sure you're well aware of that. Why should gamers shift their attention to Vendetta games? What makes your game special?
Uh, well, I mean, aside from the theme, right? I mean, there's not really that many Wild West games out there, so just the theme itself, I think, is fun. But aside from that, I mean, this is a game that was created. I mean, there's a long backstory, but it started out as a Web 2 game to kind of keep. We had a guild. We have a guild to kind of keep them interested. So it was based on fun first, right? Which is something that I think is extremely important. And it became, a real passion project of mine. And we've added on, the benefits of Web3. So we've tried to gamify everything from, staking. The gamified staking is really ingenious, I think. And then we have that risk fi, because this is the Wild West. You do want to be the baddest guy, the fastest gun. So there's a lot of, competition and leaderboards of, who's going to have the highest bounty on their head, that kind of stuff. So it's really an action packed type game that I think is going to draw in a large crowd, both Web 2 and Web 3.
Amazing. I'm really excited to check it out. I love seeing the games that our teams create. So we've talked about gamified staking a little bit, and I'm interested. Can you let me know the mechanics of that and how that works?
Yeah, the gamified staking is probably like one of the most major parts of this project. Again, I've come at this project from many ways as a guild founder with a bunch of assets, so an investor and a player, and a business owner. So really, I've thought a lot about the economy, and gamified staking, I think, is really the cherry on top. So imagine the Wild West, right? This big Wild West metaverse with a bunch of small towns. Each little town has a little businesses in there. So the idea is you stake your VDT into one of these businesses, whether it be the gun shop, the general store, the stables, right? And as your VDT is staked in that business, you get the revenue that runs through that business during the time it's staked, right? So if somebody comes to breed horses, for example, in your stable, you get a portion of that income. Or they come to buy a gun from your gun shop, you get a portion of that. Over the 7 days, you're earning this revenue, which is kind of deflationary, right? Because people spending money, we're not giving out more tokens. After 7 days, there's a cool down period, at which point somebody's going to come and try and shoot to kill and take over your shop, right? Just like the Wild West, they're coming in, they're taking over. If they succeed, okay, you take your VDT, you take the revenue you made, you go home. You haven't lost anything except your right to stake that business for the next cycle. But where it gets interesting is if you succeed in defending the business. If you succeed in defending it, you have the option not only to upgrade, which means you have better items, you need more people to defend it, and also it needs more people to attack you. But you build you incentivize to build up this business to different levels. That's on a small scale. On a larger scale, you and your guild or you and your buddies are going to stake out the whole town, right? And as you upgrade each business in the town, you're going to upgrade the town itself. As you upgrade the town, the bank can come in, a hotel can come in. Eventually, the train station will run through there. So there's a whole social aspect to it, as well as this Wild West kind of running your own town and taking over other towns.
It sounds like an absolute blast. It sounds like what a metaverse should be when it comes to gaming.
Yeah, thank you. No, it's a lot of fun. I mean, I think the gamified staking is going to really take off.
I'm gonna go off a little off script right now, though, and I've heard you say Risk Five a few times. And would you be able to explain that a little bit for the community and kind of give us a little peek in behind what that actually is?
Yeah, I mean, risk-fi is really just what it is. I mean, for example, we're in the metaverse, we're riding around doing our thing. I call you out, say, you know what, Brett, let's go have a shootout. Um, and I put up one VDT, and you put up one VDT, and the winner of the shootout takes the bulk of the pot. That's really risk-fi. So you're putting some VDT on the line. So that could be for shootouts, it could be for horse racing, of course, it could be for poker. So that's, yeah, a big aspect of the game, and I think it's an important part of um, the economy of these Web3 games, because it's not deflating the currency as your, let's say, play to earn, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You're just kind of moving the currency around, not deflating it or inflating it in any way.
Yeah, I mean, we do have an in-game token or in-game currency called gold dust. It's a non-blockchain currency, so there is that aspect where you can grind to play. You can play for free. You can get in-game assets and buy them with this non-blockchain token. But then, yeah, for the in-game kind of Web3 experience, that's all VDT.
I'm really excited to check it out. It sounds great. It makes me want to feel like a cowboy. I feel like I'm missing a cowboy hat for this interview. I'm upset about it. I'm Canadian. I should have one from the West,
Yeah, you're right out there. You're you're in that part of the world.
right? I made a mistake. I'll talk to the people who set this up and get upset with them.
You got to edit one in.
Exactly. Video guys, if you can handle that, that'd be lovely. Well, shifting gears a little bit, can you give us a little sneak peek in any alpha? Is there anything big coming up? Is there anything behind the scenes you want to let the community know about?
Yeah, I mean, this is a really good time to be getting into Vendetta. It's just before the IDO, as you guys know. That's why we're on this live stream. So that's coming up next week, right? I mean, in like 10 days or so. But and then alongside that, we're doing a free mint. So this is our second free mint. We did a free mint for something called Frontier Passes a few months ago. They're kind of like an OG pass that you can still get. They've done really well in the secondary market, and they also holding one gives you guaranteed mint on this free mint that's coming up. The free mint itself, again, is very Vendetta style. It's very gamified. So these are loot boxes. The loot boxes, you have a chance not only to win VDT in them, but also raw materials that you can craft to create in-game assets, whether it be a gun or a pair of cowboy boots. So that's a lot of fun, and that's like happening as of, I think we kicked it off last Friday. We kicked off the campaign for it.
Well, that is awesome, and our community loves these kind of events and these kind of free mints. It's something that they want to get involved with for the community. We are going to be providing all the links for this stuff below in the description of the video. So make sure to head down to the description of the video, check out these links. We'll probably have an enter link down there as well. We're going to have all of Vendetta's socials on there. So don't take it from Trust Swap. The best way to keep informed is going to be joining Vendetta's socials, making sure to follow them on Twitter. We have Telegram and Discord and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, definitely get in
Absolutely.
the Discord and tell. I'm on Telegram 24/7, so I'll be there, and Discord as well. I mean, we got all kinds of stuff going on in the Discord.
Oh, you're going to have this community coming in and asking the tough questions. Alex
Bring
is
it
there, though,
on.
which is great. Amazing. Well, so we talked about the free mint, and I love that, and I know our community loves that stuff. You had mentioned the Frontier Pass. Where can our community get something like that? As well, you mentioned a crafting system that I actually haven't really heard of before. It's really cool. Can you explain the crafting as well?
Yeah, I mean, well, I'll start with the Frontier Pass. The Frontier Pass, you can go on to Blur or Rarity. You can pick it up on the secondary market. It's a very small collection. There's only 888 of them. So I think there's only like 40 on the market right now, but they're definitely worth holding. Yeah, they're tied to a pool of VDT tokens, so that's there. And of course, they are this OG pass. So if you hold that, you get a guaranteed mint spot in our upcoming free mint. You get access to our closed alpha when we reopen the game in March. So it's definitely worth holding on to. And then, yeah, as I mentioned, it's you get to mint this new free mint that's coming up. The new free mint is a lot of fun. I mean, we've really brought in this crafting into it, which is part of the game anyway, right? So when you're in the game, you know, you're going to go to the blacksmith at some point. You're going to mint a gun, or you're going to do something, right? So this is kind of starting that outside the game on our website, but it's the same concept and the same assets. So basically, you mint your loot box. There's different levels of rarity in loot boxes. So you might get 2 items in it. You might get four. You might get VDT. You might get gold, whichever. And it's random, right? But basically, for example, you'll get, let's say, a piece of rusty metal, a piece of wood, and just that, and a bottle of gun oil, and combine these three together, and you have a rusty old shotgun. You may also find a piece of gold. Now, if you add that to the mix, then you get a gold-plated shotgun, right? Which is another level of rarity. So it's a lot of fun on not only the loot box. It's you don't know what's in there, but then after the reveal, there's definitely going to be some trading going on for I'm missing just what one piece. I got the leather, but I don't have the other part to make the cowboy hat, for example.
That's awesome. It creates demand on the secondary
Yeah.
market for different pieces, which can increase rarity.
Yeah, and also it starts that crafting process, which is part of the in-game, and even it ties into kind of in a roundabout way to the gamified staking. So it's a whole circular economy.
Well, community, you heard it. There's only a few of those frontier passes available. We're going to want to check those out, and we're going to want to make sure that we get in on that because that's the easiest way to secure, the front line to that free mint, the next one, right?
Yeah, I mean these free mints go like that. You get the Frontier Pass, for example, the first come first serve, literally minted out in less than a second. Like it opened and it was done. So I mean, having a guaranteed mint is a mint spot is very valuable.
Very valuable. It's a good problem to have, though. I think that's a good
Yes.
thing if they're minting out that quick. Excellent. So the game acts as a true metaverse. It's really cool. There's a lot of different ways to participate, whether it's the games or staking. I know you mentioned a few staking options. Is there anything else that you think is really cool that the community should know about?
Yeah, I mean, I think another really fun aspect of this of the staking is if you don't want to run a business, right? You just want to you want to be a rancher, right? You can go and stake your VDT in a bank within the metaverse. So you go to one of these leveled up towns, you go and stake your VDT. You know what your interest is going to be, right? Just like regular staking. So let's say your interest is going to be 10 VDT. Those 10 VDT are shown inside the metaverse as cattle. So you have 10 cows that you need to kind of take care of, right? And again, it's the same concept. So you take care of these cattle for 10 days, and during which time people are going to try and come and steal your cattle. And if they do so successfully, they steal your cattle and sell them on the market. You still keep the VDT you staked. You still get your interest, but you only get 80% of it. They actually steal 20% of your interest. So there's going to be all kinds of these gamified ways where people are going to try and steal your cattle and protect your cattle, and maybe hire some people to protect your cattle for you. So there's a lot of stuff that can go on in there.
We really are just in the Wild West at this point, aren't we?
Yes, that's we're trying to be as authentic as possible, even down to horse breeding, which is another thing we didn't even mention.
God, there's so much.
There's so
Community,
much
you're
to
gonna
go
have
on.
to
And
go
this
take a
could
look.
be an hour long, an hour live stream.
Maybe we'll do another one when the game comes out and we can teach everybody how to play. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, sounds good.
Exciting times. Speaking of the community, speaking of how passionate our friends are over at TrustSwap, if I'm a standard TrustSwap staker, how can I get involved with this? What's the best way to get involved with Vendetta games?
Well, I mean, you guys being TrustSwap community members, you know the drill, right? Head on over to your TrustSwap portal, or stake your tokens and get ready for this upcoming IDO.
Yeah, it's exciting. Get in early, as we say over at TrustSwap. You're gonna head to the dashboard. Make sure you have that swap score of 4,000. We have a ton of resources, and if you don't know, just ask in the telegrams. But like I said, I think the biggest thing to make sure you're caught up to date, you're getting in on these free mints and getting everything you need is to hop into those Vendetta socials. Again, all the links will be below.
Sounds
Alex,
good.
it's getting a little late. I know that. And I know you have a big day of work ahead of you because you're in a different time zone. First, I want to say thank you so much for joining me. Has been incredible already. Do you have any final words for the community or anything you want to, let them know before we sign off and get ready for this
Oh, well,
IDO?
yeah, I mean, thanks for having me. First off, first and foremost, thanks to the community members who've really helped to grow this project and add a lot of passion. I mean, we have a really strong community, very passionate. So I want to thank them. And then for all y'all out there that are learning about us for the first time, yeah, please come and follow us in Discord. Come to our Telegram. There's a lot more that we can say about this game, the whole gamified staking. There's a whole lot to learn. So yeah, you're here early, so take advantage.
It's always good to be there early. Thank you, Alex, for joining us today and sharing your vision for Vendetta Games. I want to thank everybody in the audience, as always, for coming through and watching this week's Trust Swap interview series. Don't forget, like, subscribe, leave some comments and questions below because Alex and myself definitely want to hear from you and we want to continue the conversation. For those interested in getting involved with Vendetta Games, like I said before, check out the links in the descriptions below, and we'll have all of the links: Telegram, Twitter, the website, everything you need to make sure that you're up to date. Thanks, everybody. We appreciate you joining us, and we look forward to the upcoming launch on February 28th at 5 p.m. UTC on the TrustSwap Launchpad. Thanks for joining us, everybody.
Thank you.